Hey guys, it's Jeremy again. I am back for another book review, and the book that I will be reviewing for you guys today will be on Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is the third and final book in the Infernal Devices series, which is a prequel series to the Mortal Instruments series. And this is the cover and the side. Clockwork Princess. In the back. And as you guys all know, I read either the back of the book or the inside synopsis in the hardcovers, but I kind of noticed that the synopsis in this book definitely had a lot of big spoilers in this book, from not just this book, but what happened at the end of Clockwork Prince. So I'm actually not going to read you the synopsis this time. I'm just going to tell you bare minimum what takes place in this book without spoiling everything. So this will be a spoilers-free review. Basically what happens in this book is this book picks up, as all of Cassandra's works go, is this book picks up about a couple of months after the end of Clockwork Prince, which is nice. It's not like you're trying to find out what the situation is, so it's pretty decent. And basically what's going on is everybody in the Institute is in turmoil from what happened at the end of Clockwork Prince when, with Mortimain. And, what basically what they're trying to figure out is what is Mortimain's plans are, what is he planning to do with the automations that he has created, what his plans are for this huge war against the Shadowhunters, basically what's going on. And so that's basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to find out where he is, and so they can try to stop him at all costs now. He has become a very big problem for the Shadowhunter world, with this massive army of clockwork creatures as well as automations, which are basically enhanced clockwork creatures. So it puts everybody in the Institute in a huge frenzy, and a very beautiful thing happened at the end of the second book, which I just basically loved, and I won't spoil too much of it, but it involves a couple of our favorite characters. And Will, as usual, is in turmoil from the events that happened at the end of Clockwork Prince, which, you know, poor Will, he just cannot get a break in this book, and he's going through... This book has so much emotion and things going on, and it really puts things into place. We learn a lot more about Mortimain in this book. We learn a lot more about some of our secondary characters, such as Sophie and Charlotte and Henry. We get Magnus has a play in this book, and from the moment I picked up this book, something exciting was happening, and I love Cassandra for doing that. I love that. Basically, you know, we learn about love in this book. We learn about what it means to love somebody, and what it means to love somebody even if you're not going to get that same love in return. And it really puts things into perspective. You know, we learn about Tessa. You know, she loves Will and she loves Jem, so she loves them equally so much, but in the end, she can only be with one of them, and it really puts things into place, because it shows you how to love somebody completely, and yet she, you know, even though she can only pick one of these people to love and to be with, maybe, just maybe, it doesn't always have to be all or nothing. And so I really love Tessa in this book. She was such a strong character, and she, you know, she wanted to please everybody, but in the end, you have to look at it like she can pick either to be happy with somebody else, where the other person's not going to be happy. But I think in this book, where Cassandra tied things up well enough, where even if everybody is not exactly happy, they still found happiness in their life, and I think that's such a beautiful way to end it. we got to really get to know, we have some new characters, so that's where a lot of character growth comes into the story. We met Cecily, which is Will's sister, which we met at the end of Clockwork Prince, and I really loved Cecily. She's very kick-ass, she's independent, she's very strong, she brought a very nice sense to the story, and I liked that. And but in this book, we finally, this has been building since Clockwork Angel, we finally know what Tessa is exactly. We know how her creation came to be, what her purpose in the world is, what Mortimer's plans for her are, and everything. It was a fantastic discovery when it finally got to that point in the book. When we find that out, I was like, wow, I did not see that coming. But she is unlike any other downworlder the world has ever seen. She is very, very unique, and I won't say the details of it because I don't want to spoil it, but let me just say I was very, very, very wrong at what I thought Tessa was. Let me just say that. It was quite a shock. She really put a whole twist on that situation. I was like, wow. But I'll tell you this, I've never cried so much in a book in my life. I mean, I thought I cried a lot reading The Fault in Our Stars. This one takes the freaking cake. I cried at almost every freaking chapter in this book. With most endings to the series, normally almost somebody dies, and that is very true. We have some deaths in this book which were very hard to read. Some characters that you have just grown to love for so long can't always live. You know, there's always a purpose for their death in it, and it was very hard to say goodbye to some of these characters. But Cassandra Clare she shatters your heart in places, but makes up for it in others, and I think that's why I love about Cassandra Clare. She writes true, raw characters that are fleshed out, that are very different. A lot of people consider Will and Jace basically the same character. I don't. They're very separate characters. Yes, they are related to one another, but they are very separate characters. But in this book, I realize that Cassandra Clare, she is a master at what she does. She really knows how to write her characters, and she knows how to write these stories, and it's just amazing. I don't want to say too much to give anything away, but when I finished this book, I had to just go in a corner and cry, because when you have loved a series for so long and it just ends, it traumatizes you, and you don't really know how to take it. And that's how this series was with me. I really connected with so many of the characters, and I cared a lot about these characters. And when it ended, it was sad. It was sad. But I loved the way it ended. I loved the way it wrapped up. Will is an amazing character. Towards the beginning of the series, I didn't really have a problem with him. He was very sarcastic, very funny, kind of rude, and kind of a jerk to everybody. But once you read the series, you will understand why he is the way he is. You'll understand why he treats people the way he is. There's a very good reason why he has done that. And so you'll understand that if you want to start this series soon. But this was one of the best conclusions to a series I think I've ever read. This is the third series I've finished now, which is really awesome now that I've knocked back another series. This was an incredible story. I highly would recommend this series to everybody. Even if you're not a total fan of the Mortal Instruments, I would recommend this series. Even though it's not really, it is a prequel series to the Mortal Instruments, but it is entirely its own story, because I know people who cannot stand the Mortal Instruments series but love this series. So and vice versa, So I love both series equally. But I love this series, and I loved the stories that we learned in these books. but I just loved it. I'm sorry I keep rambling, but I cannot recommend this book enough. This is by far my favorite of the series, and I think you will enjoy it when you read it and you enjoy it. Please let me know what you thought of this book, but please try to keep it as spoiler free as possible. I don't want to spoil anybody in the comments who want to follow the discussion. But this is the beautiful cover. This is my favorite cover of the three. It's really, really pretty. And another thing I wanted to show you before my video ends is these are in the first edition ones, like the first printing edition to have this, and it has a timeline in it. It has the Carstairs, Harrendel, and Lightwood families from the infernal devices to the current timeline, which is really, really neat. And so if you have not read Clockwork Princess, do not look at this. Do not look at it, because it basically tells you who ends up with who and things and everything. But overall, this is a very good book, and I loved it. If you want to know, the book I'm reading right now is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, which is the last in the Hunger Games trilogy, which I'm really, really excited about that. But I hope I have said something in this video which you'll want to go and pick up the Infernal Devices and Mortal Instruments and just go along with the ride, because it was a fantastic story. But thank you for watching my review. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.